Dr. Stephen Akintayo is joining me right now. He's the chairman, Gtext Holdings. He would also be joined by his colleagues, Rana Ijaz, Group's Chief Executive Officer at Gtext Holdings, and Ikenna Mba at the President, Gvest Digital Cooperative. Dr. Akintayo, good to see you. Am I?
Yeah, good to see you, Nancy.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm well. Rana Ijaz, good to see you. Can you hear me? I'm seeing two gentlemen sitting down there. Can you both hear me?
Hi, good morning. I can hear you. Rana here. And I
Okay,
have my colleague Ikenna. Hi, good morning. Ikenna Mba.
okay.
Can't hear you.
Where is Ikenna Mba? I can't see him from here. Perhaps do I need additional glasses? Is Ikenna there? But
Yes, I'm here. Can you see me? Good morning.
oh, okay, okay. Good morning. How are you? Now let's
I'm doing
get
fine.
started. Now let me get
I
started
think
with.
they are both fair, but one is wearing an English dress, the other is wearing a native. So that's how you know the difference.
Okay, okay, okay. Doctor, let me start with you. Over the years, we've observed GTEX Holdings expansion, which has led to the appointment of Rana Ijaz, that is also on this call, as the group CEO. Why has it become necessary for you to relinquish and resign your position as the chairman and no, as the CEO, and take on the advisory role as chairman?
Thank you for that. So for me, it was the fact that we realized that we're really growing, and first of all, we are building a transgenerational company. We may be young, but we needed to set the legacy of understanding that strong corporate governance, strong structure must be imbibed. Also, as we started expanding international, we realized that we needed a lot of institutional funding. As the last estimates for us to build 25,000 green and smart home, golf course, polo, retail, hospital, schools, we'll be needing about $20 billion in the next 12 years. We have a vision 2035. So we needed somebody who understand how to raise institutional funding. And Rana, has over 28 years experience as an investment banker. So we felt he would be able to bring that to bear. And it would be an opportunity to mentor all the new set of CEOs and really put that structure, that can help the company to last many, many, many years to come.
Okay, let me still ask you a follow-up question before I move over to Rana. I know that you have about 7 young CEOs for the subsidiaries of your company, and 90% of your staff consists of young people. Tell me what actually is your drive for, having these young people on board. Are you confident about their skills, their experience, and perhaps maturity to be able to manage the stress of running and operating a business such as yours?
Yeah, I mean, very, very good one. First of all, our business is very intense. It's quite stressful. You're dealing with the money layer, you're dealing with regulators, you're dealing with investors, so there are so many components, so many elements that you're dealing with in our world. So having a very young force is an advantage. However, you also need the wisdom of the old. So what we've done is to structure in such a way that we have younger ones, we have older ones. I mean, Rana is in his 50s. We have some other C-suite executives who are in their late 30s and 50s as well, and the ability to mentor. And I say this oftentimes, I started young, I'm still young. If I don't invest in young people, who will? And it's important to be intentional about mentorship. 10 years from now, these guys will be extremely, extremely exposed and experienced, and will be able to have what it takes to take the company to the next level because they are still young, they have the health, they have the energy to keep pushing it. And so the culture of older people running businesses that are very uh, you know, I mean, building is very intense. And so for us, it was intentional that we needed to work with young people and provide a platform. And honestly, a lot of young people have been deprived. The system locks the door against young people.
Mm.
Everybody wants you to be in your 60s before you can be a CEO. At that point, your energy is gone, and you won't be able to really give it all the best. So why not start with people who are young and then mentor them and have structure, strong corporate governance where you have a lot of mentors around to guide.
Mm. Okay, let me come over to Rana, and I hope Rana can hear me. Dr. Akintayo has said, of course, that you are an investment banker with over 2 decades of experience. How do you think that the special skills that you possess as an investment banker, because I know what it takes to be an investment banker, how do you think that you can manage the operation of a multinational real estate company? That is one. Then, are there parallels between real estate and investment banking? If they are, I would like to know what the melting point is.
Well, thank you so much for the question. I think it's a good one. Over 2 decades, I have been in the corporate and investment banking world, being based in Dubai, and my main client forte was in real estate and hospitality sector. I was associated with a company. We delivered Burj Al Arab, first seven-star hotel. So we did manage the funding for the project. So I'm someone who has not done a typical conventional commercial banking finance. I have been very innovative in my approach. We did consortium funding. We were heavily involved in certain international projects where we raised funding from US and DIFC. I've been working with Morgan Stanley. I've been working with a lot of international banks. So this is something not new for me. And when I heard the opportunity, I heard from Dr. Stephen his expansion plans, and I really believe it's the right time for someone like me with this experience can come up and bring that sort of calmness on a young team. I heard your question before. We have a very young and vibrant team. So my coming in brings little bit a comfort on that side as well, and bring it that corporate structure which is required to take the company to the next level. And what I specifically want to focus, we are growing, but want to still stick our feet on the ground. We are very particular, and we're doing our proper risk management. What I want to be sure we don't overload our balance sheet with typical funding.
Mm.
I would be arranging project-wise financing where during the life cycle of the project it pays off and companies always liquid. So uh, and we are looking into international markets. Like today we are in the US, and there's a lot of opportunities, institutional funding, crowdfunding, and there are a lot of high net worth individuals who are willing to participate with us.
Mm.
And within Nigeria, I'm right now sitting in Lagos, and I have done extensive round of meetings with all the major players in the capital markets, being the with the regulators, FMDQs, and SEC as well. So I'm confident we are on the right track, but we're conscious of the fact we do grow with a proper risk management policy and sustainable growth.
Okay. Rana, let me still stick with you a bit. What attracted you to work here, to come here to work? I can assume that before, perhaps while Dr. Akintayo was courting you, perhaps as a bride, you may have been doing your research on Nigeria. You are Pakistani. Perhaps from your name, I can infer you are Pakistani. So talk to me about what's attracting you to Nigeria, and if, for example, do you have enough knowledge to operate business here? Because where you're coming from, all the places and all the companies you say you've worked with, that's a different environment. Nigeria is also a different environment. So speak to me about what's attracting you here, and if you have enough knowledge to be able to function here.
Yes. Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question. Thanks for Dr. Stephen who gave me the opportunity actually. I had long thought over the opportunity. I had a lot of discussions with the team whether to join and come over down to Nigeria. There was a lot of risk perception about the country, Africa and Nigeria, but I find totally different situation on the ground. It's perfectly safe, and you are with the good people. And coming back to your question, Nigeria is a new market for me, but real estate is something fundamental. It has its fundamental globally. Okay, each market is unique. It has its risk parameters. Financing arrangements could be different, but nothing new for me. I'm confident, being 2 months already in Lagos, so I don't see any problem operating in Nigeria. And I have the support of all the local team, and I'm being guided and connected with by our excellent chairman, who's well known, highly respected individual. So I am fully confident that within Nigeria and globally, I would be able to take the company to the next level. What is the plan? And we are planning to build 25,000 green and smart houses by 2035. And we are confident to arrange all the financial requirements, and while putting the company on a proper level where Dr. Stephen can really take a role as a chairman. And I think we are planning to build a legacy. We're not looking for a business, typical family business where the owner gets old and uh, business doesn't survive. So I think if God willing, we'll take this company public someday.
Hmm. I guess the exchange will be happy to hear that. And that is about building successful and perhaps generational businesses. But let me come to you, Ikenna Mba, who is the president, Gvest Digital Cooperative. Ikenna, are you there? I remember the last time I had an interview,
Yes.
yes, and I spoke with Dr. Stephen, and I remember we were talking, he was telling me then about the cooperative model. Now you are the president of Gvest Digital Cooperative. Can you speak to me about the GVest Digital Cooperative structure, the model?
Okay. Good afternoon. It's a privilege to be here as the president of Gvest Digital Cooperative. So, Gvest Digital Cooperative, like it sounds, it's the arm of Gtext Holdings that is basically into investments, right? But there is a unique thing about this Gvest Digital Cooperative is that you can access your investment via your mobile any part of the world. That is why it's called Digital Cooperative. So it's a platform where smart investors come together to invest in the real estate sector without owning a piece of landed properties or housing units, yet yet earn returns on their investments per annum. So this is achievable as an individual, any part of the world you are, you can access your investment as long as you are an existing investor with us. Thank you.
So it's only meant for your investors. Okay, definitely to be meant for your investors. So, like an app, I guess, on their phones.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a digital app you can download via the iOS or the Android, right? So it's open to all, right? You can have the digital platform on your phone. Then when you now subscribe as an investor, you can now see investments you have done for the period of years invested.
Okay. Let me come back to Dr. Akintayo. We, I am aware that you have $20 billion. That's a huge sum of money, a very huge sum of money for 25,000 smart and eco-friendly homes with commercial and tourism spaces. Like I mentioned earlier, that's a very substantial sum. How are you going to raise this amount of money? And are you raising it outside? Or would you raise a bit outside and a bit here in Nigeria?
Well, good question. What we realize is that it's going to be difficult to raise a good substantial of that in Nigeria. Of course, maybe we can raise 10% of that or a little bit more. But our strategy is to, leverage on the international market. And that's one of the reasons why we intentionally expanded aggressively internationally because just like Mr. Rana, I mean, coming to Nigeria was quite reluctant. At some point, was like, I'll only be operating from Dubai office. We said, no, we have substantial investment here in Nigeria. We need you to be on ground. And obviously, by the time you Google Nigeria, all the warning signs don't come to Nigeria. They will kidnap you, they will do this. I remember when I took him to one of our estates, I had to, jokingly say, oh, yeah, yeah, let's kidnap him now, And obviously, there is that concern by investors about even coming to Nigeria to even see what they're investing in, talk less of investing. So we felt that expanding to those countries, I mean, we have about 100 properties we control in Dubai. We have 20 units of three-bedroom townhouse we're selling in state of Georgia. We have another unit of almost 100 we're about to launch. Also now we have this 40-acre we acquire in Katy where we're going to be building over 400 units. But this time around focusing on the green and smart, model. So we felt that our partners, our investors in this part of the world, as they see our competence, it's easy to then convince them and say, hey, we have something really, really bigger back at home. We need your help. We need you to invest. And because, we've had good deals outside of Nigeria, they will be more convinced to invest. And we have 12 years to go on this. So we're very positive about it.
Mm. So let me still stick with you because Rana also mentioned a bit earlier that in Houston, Texas, Gtext Holdings purchased a 40-acre property. Buying real estate, of course, outside Nigeria, it's a big, it's also an opportunity as well as a challenge. Who is your intended target market for this?
Well, the internet market is largely, I mean, people globally. For this 40, particularly for this 40-acre, we're going to be working with Keller Williams to be the major broker, and they are platform people all over the world can buy. However, we're hoping that the investment angle, as well as because we're now a US SEC registered and oversee fund. So we have the GVest Capital here in the US, where we are now have the right to raise money publicly for our construction. So we're currently raising $10 million to start construction on the 40-acre. So here are opportunity for Nigerians in diaspora, Nigerians back at home to be able to invest and get their returns in dollars, right? You know how the FX is an issue for many parents. Some have children back in this part of the world, and their funds have been denominated in naira. And so each time you're having to change is a major issue. But when you have investment, we have minimum of $50,000 and above that you can invest. If you have an investment like that, first of all, you're getting returns every year. Of course, the return is not like in Nigeria; it's a bit more lesser, but it's more stable and is in foreign currency. Even that return alone can go towards taking care of your children who are studying internationally, and things like that. So we have that option. Then for the housing, we have come up with a way just for Nigerians in diaspora as well as Nigerians back at home, where we got an opportunity where they will just need to deposit 30% for the house. We're launching next week 4, 5, and 6 bedroom, and we're giving people opportunity to even have 6 months to pay that 30%. Now we've gotten a finance company who will then give them construction loan for the remaining 70, and then in 18 months after the completion of the house, you then can convert it to a mortgage of 30 years.
Oh,
And you know how powerful it is when you own a brand new house here in America. That's not that common, because it's a developed economy. Most of the houses are 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years. Some are even over 50 years. So when you own a brand new house, the capital appreciation keeps rising every single year. So it's a unique opportunity. But of course, we're open to people all over the world, and we're getting in fact, I think Keller Williams arguably is either number one, number two across all the states in America. But we have come up with a more flexible strategy for our people because we understand an average, Nigerian may not be able to cough out even that 30% at once. So we say,
exactly.
okay, we'll give you 6 months. We'll give you 6 months to even contribute that your 30%, and we've already gotten a company that will give you the remaining 70%.
Okay. Rana, let me come over to you and taking it from where Doctor has stopped talking about the 40-acre U.S. property of that's the Jasper Estate. Significant investments, Rana, and in fact, a very tall order and big shoes to fill. What do you think about that? Then the second part of your question would be for investors from outside Nigeria, how will they repatriate their funds? Because I guess that will be, top on the agenda when they are considering these kind of investments. That's for Rana. Is Rana still there?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I heard the question. I think as far as the U.S. project is concerned, we are on the right track. Initial funding is secured, and we already a SEC registered U.S. based fund where we are able to raise fund from like a crowdfunding platform, and we enjoy a lot of confidence from the Nigerian diaspora and from the international clients. And we are confident an initial bid of $10 million will be raised. We're doing a webinar this evening. And on the in the US, the financing models are very structured, as our chairman mentioned. If you just any customer who is willing to buy arranges 30%, and then it gets converted into a construction loan, and then it goes all the way up to a mortgage on from 25 to 30 years. So it's a really unique opportunity. And other than that, we looking forward. I'm going to discuss with institutional investors within the U.S. market for our new projects and whatever requirements for this particular project as well. So funding in US would be quite easier than within Nigerian local market. Coming back to your second part of question, Africa is something next big thing on the planet. A lot of investors. I keep talking to investors in Dubai and DIFC in US, and I was in discussion with an asset manager based in Zurich. The people are willing to invest into Africa. They see the potential. It's a big continent with a lot of opportunities, shortage of houses, particularly in our space. But there are issues. We are aware of those. And looking at Nigeria particularly, I was the other day in an event where Governor of Lagos and Chamber of Commerce President were there. This question was asked, repatriation of money for the investors. So currently, there are no laws that prohibits repatriation. But on the practical grounds, central bank is facing liquidity shortage, but they are progressing well. I think confidence is coming back. I think the backlog, once the backlog is cleared, as long as the investment coming on the secure structure, investors would be able to take their initial capital investments plus their profits. And we are thinking for the long-term financing. We're not looking for a year or two, and ideally 5 to 10 years notes. So I think Nigeria, it's the right time to come in Nigeria. There is a strong political will along with the reform agenda. And I heard the talk of the Sheikh Luta, the Chamber of President of UAE. So UAE particularly has big plans of investment in. So that is a big step, signifies the confidence in Nigerian markets.
Okay. Ikenna, the next question is for you, and I'm wondering when you're talking about Gvest cooperative model, I know that we have historically, we have poor people, and our purchasing power is at an historic low with 133 million multidimensionally poor Nigerians. My question to you is, why should people entrust Gvest with the little they own now, and how secure is this model? Who is also your intended target market too? Because in Nigeria, if you have 133 million poor people, who are you selling this to?
All right. Thank you for this question. Yes. So what we have in mind for establishing Gvest Digital Cooperative is to ensure that as many that wish to own a landed properties or housing unit, but do not have that pool of funds to acquire the landed property. So Gvest Investment has created that platform for 2 or 3 persons to come together and co-own a landed property or housing unit, right? And earn returns on investment. So the issue of, oh, I don't have a huge capital to own a landed property, GVest Investment has taken that burden out of you, thereby creating the platform for you to come together with other smart investors across the globe to co-own a landed property with GTEX, right? So the question, the second question is, how is our investment secured with GVest, right? So GVest Digital Cooperative is a licensed and is a licensed company here in Lagos, right? We operate 24 hours and we are registered under the LASCOFED, Lagos State Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, Alausa chapter, which is under the Ministry of Commerce, right? So these are the regulatory bodies that ensures that we are in compliance with the cooperative bylaws in Lagos and across the states.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what I hear that the model I'm seeing that you guys are using is the mutual fund model. Mutual fund and a susu kind of model. Somehow like, just small, anyone you have just bring, pooling of funds. Mutual funds actually. That's actually
Yes.
yes, what I'm hearing. Okay, let me come back to Doctor and we'll end with you. Doctor, isn't it really counterproductive for you at this time to take a step back from from your business, given the confidence that your investors have placed in you and the others with whom you are currently doing business with? I wonder why you are stepping back from the day-to-day running, and that is not traditional to Nigerian businesses, because we see even business owners run their businesses till like 70, 80, except, for example, the regulators come up with stiff regulations like we've seen in the banking industry and allied industries, perhaps banking actually, to say after 10 years, just go. But we've seen a bit of revision. So isn't it counterproductive for you, and should investors continue to have confidence in the kind of team that you've put together? Rana is one, Ikenna is one, and I know perhaps you have a CEO for your, is it for the homes subsidiary or so? So speak to me about
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 7 CEOs now. So we have 7 subsidiaries being run by them. Um, the truth is, I'm still much involved. I'm still the major a shareholder, if you want to put it that way, equity owner. So my eyes is still on things. Just that the day-to-day running, I think it's getting bigger. So what we realized was that to be able to keep track when something is getting this big, it's wisdom, because it's what I used to do alone that we had to divide into 7, right? So it's wisdom to bring more people on board, look at things together, and one can also always keep being with them, advising them, sharing experiences that we've had in the last 15 years, with the team. And they're very loyal team. We've had some of them rise from being interns to becoming CEOs. This has been a team that has been in the system. People rose from nothing to where we are growing. So you have a very committed, loyal people, and the vision is clear. The vision is same. One is able to also, with this, have more time for better expansion. Even still help the company, because for me, I'm still able to help talk to investors for the company, still able to use my brand. I have over 2 million followers across platform to still keep talking about why they need to invest with our company, what the company stands for, the values of the company. So I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Stephen, and I wish you all well. Thank you all. Thank you to the 3 gentlemen joining me today. Of course, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, Chairman, Gtext Holdings, Mr. Rana Ijaz, Group CEO, Gtext Holdings, and Rana, I hope they are integrating you well into Nigeria. I hope you have favorite foods now in Nigeria, and don't run anywhere. Nigeria is good and a good place to do business. And Ikenna Mba too, Gvest Digital Cooperative President. Thank you, and have a lovely weekend. All right, bye.